Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm going to build a 38-foot sailboat. But before I can start the build of the sailboat, I need to construct a boat shed to build it in. And to build the boat shed, I am now living aboard my 26-foot Thunderbird on the hard at the lot where the boat shed is being built. So we got the floor ready to pour for Monday. We put the plastic down. We put a piece of 2x4 all the way around the outside here so that it would not adhere to these boards here, and that will allow the concrete floor in the building to move separate from each other. And then we put the mesh down, and what will happen with the mesh when they're pouring, they will pick it up to embed it into the concrete. So lots of work done there. My brother Scott was here today to give me another hand and give me a helping hand on his vacation. So I don't know if it's much of a vacation yet. And here we have the entrance, which is blocked off, and I used some of my lid that I had poured to stop the 2x4 from going out from the weight of the concrete. And I think it's all ready. Hopefully it'll be poured tomorrow. We had Grand Ostrich and his crew show up the next morning, and they went and poured it with no troubles at all. They did a really good job. Here's a few clips of them as they've leveled out and raked out and figured out the level of the concrete. They set in a wet pad there that you'll see marked with an X, and then they will use the screed to level off all the concrete around that to that location and that height. So and I will say from my own personal experience, it's hard back-breaking work, but they worked right at it and had it down in no time at all, and was ready to start polishing after. A couple of loads in the bathroom they had to wheelbarrow around because they couldn't get the dump truck, the cement truck, in. And the completed floor, they're just waiting for it to pond up before they put the power trowels on it and start polishing it. I think it looks fairly good, a lot better than I would ever be able to do. And then they started troweling it, and as it hardened up, they kept on troweling it, and so this is a repeated process of numerous different times that they go over with the trowel, and they change the angle of the blade so that less and less of the trowel blade itself is resting on the concrete, and that compacts the upper surface and makes it harder. Doing the very last trowel. You can see it's highly polished and looking really good. And there they are, finished. Nice sheen on the floor, nice and smooth. I'll put a sealer on it here probably late tomorrow. So we got the big roller door up yesterday. You can just barely see some of the hinges up top there. We'll go have a look at it. So we had seen the wood frame inside, and I do have to get something to cover this strip, but the door blends right in with the rest of the building, and we'll go up top and have a look at the track and stuff. So there's the track hardware, and we have them legged onto this material here, and we got our 2 rollers, and then the metal fella provided us with the drip cap. We're starting to put on this last gable in steel. Concrete, I sealed it, so you can see there's a nice shine coming off of it with the light. So there's the door from the inside. Sorry for the echo. And what I'm doing right now to lock it in place and hold it tight, I have a strap with ratchet straps. I'll probably get something a little bit different than that once we're all set up, but didn't want the wind blowing the door around, making it rattle, etc. I am going to put weather stripping along this edge to help seal it. I had to cut the floor to control where the cracks happen at with the concrete. If it has an inside corner, as would be around all the posts, the concrete will crack from the diagonal. So I went and I cut a line straight down the edge of all the posts. You can see it there as the pink snap line at the top. And then I cut the concrete itself into 3 different slabs out in the building itself, just to make sure that any of the cracking that happened was controlled, and shouldn't randomly crack, but it will crack at these cuts. The pile of material for my living space and bathroom have arrived. My shower has arrived, and going to be framing this up in the next few days to give me my bathroom and living area in that corner over there. Looking forward to finally having a place where I'll be able to stand up straight. Had Alan Mulholland here helping us install our framing for our downstairs. It went very well. We got lots done. It was great to have him helping. A lot of up and down and figuring out stuff to figure out spacings of them and get things ready. And installing the floor system, we nailed them onto a header and slid them across the top there, and then we put the outside rim joists on. And my upstairs living space is going to be 2 feet wider than my bathroom downstairs, so that's why there's that overhang. So we're here today putting the hurricane ties on. Brother Scott's here with me. It's a fairly warm day, using the impact to put the nails in. Have my brother Curtis and my other brother Scott here helping me today. We're stuffing the eaves so our attic insulation won't blow out into our eaves, and we're sealing it up. I'll take you up there in a moment to show you exactly what's happening. So up here in the eave, we have our 2 2x10s that gap here, and as we're blowing in our insulation, it would all fall down. So what we're doing is we're putting Tyvek, sealing it with some lovely acoustical sealant, which really sticky stuff there and there, running it up here on the face of it so our plastic on the ceiling will tie into it. And then, as I almost step off the stage, and then we're putting a vat of insulation in there to shut off the eave so that the wind won't blow all our blown in insulation out of this space. Alan Mulholland was here yesterday and gave me a hand to put the plastic and strapping up on the ceiling. Then last night, my dad Charles and my brother Scott came out and we wired up the first string of lights and got them up there. And we came today, and we framed up my living quarters upstairs, so it's just about done. I got a few other little pieces, rough sills and stuff to put in, and we wired up the second string of lights, and we just tested them to make sure that they work before we put them up. But with that first string, it was going to be fairly bright. The second one's going to make it even brighter in here. I don't think there's going to be too many places that the lighting isn't going to be good in, so that's a start. And then we have 2 more runs to do after this. And my nephew Marshall stopped by to give me a hand, and here he is lugging some cut-offs out to the fire pit. Had Roy Cornish here stop by today to give us a helping hand. He helped tighten up a nut here on the hanger. He just wanted to make sure I gave him credit so everyone would know that he came and helped me. So I got my stair stringers laid out, and I've started to cut them here up at the top. We'll get our steps and our risers made, and the other thing that you have to do on your steps is right at the bottom, you have to move your bottom riser up the thickness of your thread, so this distance here plus your thread is going to be the same distance as every other riser, which will make them all the same. So I got the stairs installed. They're looking good. They're nice and strong. I have 2x12 on the outside and 2x10 stringers cut, and I got my steps themselves temporary in place. I just haven't had time to glue and screw them down permanently, but now we can access my living quarters upstairs, which is great. I got out another time this year with Jamie and Joni on their boat for the Parade of Lights. Our yacht club decorates up a number of boats, and we go out at night, and we basically sail by a couple of locations where people on the shore can see it. There's great effort put into it by the boats, and it seemed like it was very well attended this year. It was really good to see after not having it last year or due to COVID. It's really nice to get back out on the water. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll leave you with a few more shots of the vessels that are decorated. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe.